when you do screw up, and when it's a screw up that you think is like yours to own, what does that look like logistically? Do you get an all hands meeting together, or have a chat with everyone when they're in the office and stand up and say, hey guys, got some bad news, we'll get through it, but here it is? Like, what does that look like for you?
So for me, ultimate transparency is the thing that works best for us at Palm. Could be different with other companies, but for us, if there's something not right, or if it's something that I've done personally, a big part of our culture is take responsibility. It's worse not take responsibility. Everyone takes their responsibility, and everyone's done it correctly. I mean, most of the screw ups, they're by me, and I take that responsibility, but then I get everyone on a call, or everyone in the office, and then we just sit there together, order some delivery, and try and solve it.
It sounds really nice. Also, the fact that you're personally okay with failing and then having to share that with the team, there's a level of comfort and psychological safety that you will have as the founder, which I think is informed by the people you brought in to work on this with you, which I think is really nice.
Another interesting point about our team is that I've approached it as almost like treat them like friends. I've also, there is the other side to that argument where, you should have that separation. So I'm dealing with that, but I think that sort of culture where everyone's friendly and if you're fully transparent from day one, mistakes happen. And as long as you own it early and you solve it quickly, that's good. Yeah.
Has that treat your staff or treat your team like friends philosophy backfired at all?
Yeah. So my current head of partnerships, Jordan. Do you remember when I was talking about the events company and my roommate DJing?
Mm-hmm.
That was him.
Got it.
So he was my first ever DJ, and he DJed at every single one of my events. And now he's our head of partnerships at Palm. And that's not treating like my friends, because he is my friend. I hired my friend. I broke the golden rule of any startup: don't hire friends. It's the second time I've done that, but the first we won't go into. The second time I did that. And I think with him, when he started, I had a very honest conversation with him. I was like, look, we are friends, I know that, but if something goes wrong, or if there's something not right about your performance, or you don't like something about like my management style, whatever, we just got to be honest. And in terms of reporting, his sort of line manager is my co-founder. That makes it a bit easier, because then it's the reporting done through Vlad, not me. But I've always just been fully honest with him, and I'll be like, he sent me a proposal, I'm like, that's terrible, do it again. Or none of those rude words. I'll be like, this is a good effort, but you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I think I made it very clear that we just got to be honest. But then there have been times where he's tried his hardest, stuff hasn't worked out, there were solutions that could fix that, and that's where you play a friendship. You don't want to discourage him from trying, but then there's also the boss or friend thing. So it's a difficult one, which going forward, I will not be hiring any more friends. Sorry, friends. But yeah, I think that's,
it's a whole journey of figuring out what works for you. And I think that's interesting. It's good that you have the really transparent aspect to it. I've made a ton of mistakes in this before, not necessarily hiring friends, but treating the team in a way which is too kind of matesy, on socials. Everyone's like, oh, we never see you on socials, come out on socials, we want you to be there, it's not a thing for us. And I was like, okay, cool. So I went out on a social, got a bit drunk, and just started chatting so much shit. Nothing was offensive. There was nothing that was really bad about what I said, but it wasn't really work chat, was it? Just wasn't. And so it's cool, well, if I'm going to have those kind of conversations with my mates on a Saturday night when I'm absolutely just really drunk, then fine. But it's not really the vibe to have those conversations with your team, I think. And then, I think this now after doing it, and then just thinking later on that evening or the next day, why did I say all of that stuff? It was just a bit silly, wasn't it? But then in terms of actually working with friends, there's an opportunity now for me to work with one of my close friends from uni. And I've straight up said to him on the phone, if we do this, we both need to be comfortable with the idea of you leaving out of choice and you leaving the work you do here, or you getting fired. How does that land with you? And then we've also discussed the fact that this guy has, gone out there, started a company, been the kind of quote founder, and is now potentially going to work with, but also for one of his friends. And how does that sound? Because for me, that was the biggest part. whoa, that could be a difficult thing for somebody to grapple with, and just set it out straight up on a call. We spoke through it, easy. I feel like now that we've established that, 100% we can work together. We both know the limits, we both have the respect, and it's just been very clear from the start.
Has he confirmed that he's gonna be okay with it?
Yeah, he said he's absolutely down, understands all of it, and it's fine. It's not a thing at all, which was really good. And then if we do move forward, then again, it's a very clear roles and responsibilities, and revisiting in a very objective way somebody's progress and how good the work is, where they need improvement, and so on. But I think that all of this is just quite an interesting topic.
Yeah. So do you not go out on company socials anymore?
I go out on company socials, but I don't get absolutely wilded, or however we want to phrase it. And I'm also just mindful of what I say. I've realised, and I continue to learn, that whilst I want to share everything with everyone, and I try to do that where possible, it's also not the right savvy thing to do, because I might be out here in my head stressing about, let's say, certain clients renewing or big things that really impact the business as a whole. But if I share that, Tuesday at 10:25 a.m. right before someone's about to take an important call that they have, I could share that, and in my mind it's like, oh cool, I'm just sharing bits. But for them, I could have just very nonchalantly said something which is going to have a really significant impact on their work at the business without fully thinking that through, and then I think that could be quite damaging. So I'm just very mindful of what I say to who and when.
Yeah, I agree. I think every founder needs to learn that thing of going out with your team is a very different experience to going out with your friends. I mean, it's fun, but then you got to find the limit, I guess.